Okay, everyone. So inside of this lecture, I want to briefly talk about how instance variables work, which is a term that you'll see here when we customize GUI widgets with classes. So there's quite a bit going on in this portion here. But before we look at everything going on, I just want to focus on this concept of passing around data between here. So a very important thing in our GUI classes is the functionality of trying to maintain data that is given to us and maybe modify it. One such way we can do this is by creating a class and then having these instance variables such as self.data. So inside of this hello frame, we go ahead and we see here, after we create hello frame, we go ahead and we initialize our init. We pack in this frame using the parent constructor of frame. We pack ourselves, and then we have this variable called self.data. And what we can do with this self.data now is we could say def message is equal to self.data plus equals 1. And then we can print out the format of self.data plus a little message. And this message command is going to be ran every time we press this button that's made in make widgets. So very briefly, we can go ahead and just look at hello frame world. And if I click it here, you'll see that in my background, I have the increase of data. So again, what I can do here again, if I ever want to add in more data, and I'll say this is data 2, and I want to briefly make another widget that's going to be on the right side, self text, and I'm going to say this is going to say add 10 to data 2, and the command is going to be equal to, let's say self.message 2, and I'll pack it to the side of right. And actually, let me go ahead and set a message to, let me say this is going to be add 10. I'll just call it add for the time being. And then what I could say is def add of self. And then what I'll say is self.data2 plus equals 10. And then I'll say print, here is data 2. And then I'll format it with self.data2. Great. So I added a bit of information in here, but this is an instance variable inside of our class that we can work with. If I go ahead and I try running this here, oops, a daisy, forgot a comma right there. And whoops, if you ever get these errors with name errors and the right is not defined, again, you can import right up here like so. For our purposes, because I might be adding a few things in here, I can just say from tkinter import all. And again, these are just small things that you'll get used to as you keep coding them. This should go ahead and fix it up for us. Now we can see that I have hello frame world. And if I click it, I get my data 1. And then if I click add 10 to data 2, I can gradually add 10 to it. So again, this is something that's a bit more useful for us to use with classes because each of these hello world frames are individualized essentially, and they are instances of an object. And again, object-oriented programming is very useful. We saw that earlier with our dog examples. Like we can have different dogs with different states. So I could have one hello frame that goes ahead and has self.data at a certain value, and a different one that has self.data. Maybe one has it at 10 and the other has it at 20. So again, just a very brief example of how you can add in using the self.data attributes, identical to what we did with our classes of dogs and animals that you've seen the examples of so far, but with just a few additions to account for how tkinter works.